This conference will now be recorded.
Hi Srini. Hi Ranjit.
Yeah, yeah, hi.
Okay, so let me quickly share my screen. Today we'll be discussing about the challenges in multiple inheritance I was explaining yesterday. Today we'll be seeing um, the remediation, how you can sort out the problem in the multiple interface issue. This is the one we are going to discuss today. Let me quickly share my screen. I'm sharing my screen. Once you're able to see my screen, you can confirm me. Is it
Yeah,
visible?
I can see the screen. Yeah.
Thank you. So, I was telling something called class so far, that is the backbone of your hoops concept, your Java programming, not only Java, but wherever you are going to use this hoops concept, classes are the backbone, and we have discussed this so far a lot. Objects, constructor, copy constructor, single argument, multiple argument, everything. And when we reach the interface, inheritance concept, we told that there is uh, a, a challenge in using the multiple inheritance. To rectify that, the concept called interface is introduced. Okay, so the very basic thing is, let me first discuss theoretically, then I will jump on to the practical demo session. So here it is used to achieve the abstraction concept. Abstraction means I have clearly told, showing only the relevant information to the user and hiding the main implementation part. What is the main business logic? It is not going to expose that to the outer world, like only what is needed for the user, that alone we are planning to show. So using interface, we are going to do the same thing, exactly same thing. Why? In the sense, interfaces will tell you what to do. So what and all I'm supposed to do, it will tell me, but it won't tell me how to do it. It's up to me. There will be an interface, it will give an idea. On top of the idea, using my creativity, I can implement the method. That is the main advantage of using this interface. That is, abstraction would be there. It will hide the information. It will show only the relevant data to the user. And in classes, when I was using this inheritance concept, I was using the keyword called extends. So class A extends B, class A extends C. I was using something like that, but in this interfaces, you will be using the keyword called implements. And until JDK 7, interface methods are public and abstract by default. That is, there is a concept that you can have only the abstract methods in the interface. You cannot have any other method. That is the one followed till JDK 7, 1.7. Later on in JDK 8, we can define implement methods in interface also. That is, apart from a abstract method, you can have another method also in the interface that we call it as default method. In the demo, I'll be covering that also. And we can override the default method. So override is possible. So the default method, whatever I'm going to create, so without the abstract keyword, I'll be having a method in the interface. That method I can very well override. Override means what? When I introduce the inheritance concept in my child class, I can come up with my own business logic with the same name of the method. That is called the override concept, right? So that I can do. Why I'm going for this interface is 100% abstraction. So now it is like I told, right? If I say 100% attraction, this point, the point number 3 and point number 1 here, it's like matching. But after this point number 4, we can't say that 100% abstraction, but it gives me the maximum abstraction in the OOPS concept. Okay. Then final thing is loose coupling. So already I mentioned about multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance, yes. The challenge in multiple inheritance in a class can be easily sorted out using this interface. We will be seeing that also. And loose coupling. Loose coupling means it is not tightly coupled, like if a parent and child is there, I have to maintain some rules and something I need to follow in the case of class, but in the case of interface, we can very well relax it. So step by step, we will be seeing all those things. Okay, let's quickly see the comparison. This is again for a interview perspective, I'm telling. There are some cases they will ask you some questions relevant to this, so you should be able to answer. So it uses a keyword called interface. So when I create class, I used to say class, right? Class, uh, demo project, class car, class vehicle, something like that I used to do. So here the keyword which we have to use is interface. And for the abstract class, we already seen yesterday, we were using the abstract keyword. And subclass can implement a interface. So here I was like, if I want to create the parent-child relationship between two class, I have to use a keyword called implement. But in the case of abstract, I have to use a keyword called extend. Multiple interface can be implemented. Okay, one abstract class can be extended because it is a class. So for all classes, the same thing is applicable. That is, only one you can do, more than one you cannot do using the extends keyword. That was a challenge we have seen. But in the case of multiple interface, we can very well do it. Supports multiple inheritance, cannot support multiple inheritance. This we discussed a lot. So let's quickly get into the actual demo. So before jumping into the demo, I really want to explain some logics to you. So I was telling, right, what to do, how to do, some things I was telling you. So you might get confused. What is this? What to do? How to do? How can I define a method without any proper information? You can ask me. Say, for example, uh, for a smartphone. Okay, if somebody is planning to introduce a smartphone in the market, so what and all they will consider. So methods is nothing but the activities only, right? So what and all I will consider? I will consider whether the phone has a voice call feature, browse feature, take photo feature, video feature. So many features. I'm saying that it is needed. So I'm defining a rule that I'm saying that what to do. So to become a smartphone, to introduce a smartphone, what and all you have to have it in the phone. You have to have a voice call feature. You have to have a browse feature, taking photo, video calls, so blah blah. So many features. Apps installation you can extend it a lot, but I'm taking some 4 5 simple methods. So I'm defining like this. So to create an interface, let's start our first interface. Right click on the package, click on the new, and you will be having a option. Okay, click on the Java class. Under that you have an option interface, select it, and create your very first interface called smartphone. So when I create that interface, it is creating. Yeah. You can see it is using the keyword called interface. Yesterday when I create an abstract class, you can see it was using the keyword called uh, class. So now I'm saying that to be a smartphone, I have to say that there should be a voice call feature. This is for normal phone also will have even the key related things. It should have a browse feature, and it should have a video call feature. Just I'm taking some random example. Smartphone means so many things we are doing. Just I'm giving some simple things. Take photo. I'm saying that I'm giving an idea for a smartphone. If you want to develop a smartphone, then your phone should have all these things. So I'm saying what to do. So what is the interface concept I told? What to do, okay, but not how to do. So interface won't give you that details. It will give you what to do, but it won't give you how to do. So what to do, it is saying me voice call, browser, blah blah, and all. Say for example, I'm taking some random brand names just for the example purpose, nothing deep into that. Say for example, Samsung wants to introduce a smartphone. They already introduced a lot. Just for the discussion purpose, I'm using their name. If Samsung wants to introduce a smartphone in the market, they will have these features: voice call, browse, video call, photo feature, everything they will have, but they will have as per their own wish. That is, Samsung will have some idea how to implement this. They will come up with some different video feature. They will come up with different browser. They will come up with different photo feature. So the base concept is these functions we need it, but on top of it, Samsung is using this own intelligence and it is bringing up with some ideas, creativity, new things in the market, using the new technique in the market. By analyzing the competition in the market, it is changing the feature of these methods. So this is called the implementation. That is, I have a class. So again, I'm saying it is a class called Samsung, and it is implements the smartphone. That is, it is planning to use a smartphone interface. If that is the case, what will happen? It has to implement all these methods in this particular class. When it implements all these things, then only we will say it is the class. It is a proper smartphone. So to become a proper smartphone, there is lot of predefined capabilities there in the market. So if somebody wants to introduce their smartphone, means they have to fulfill all this functionality, but it doesn't mean that it should match with the existing feature. They can very well come up with their own idea, their thought process. They can put in cost wise, if they want to do some modification, so they can modify their capabilities whichever way they want to go. Some people will say that I don't want to really compromise on the cost. Somebody will say that I'm okay to compromise on the cost. So based upon the need, the market trend, the customer expectation, they will implement these features in the class. So immediately when I say implement, so you can very well see I didn't define the body of the method. I just said the name of the method here. Body of the method is not at all available in all these four methods. So it means these are all abstract methods. Okay, that's what I was telling you. All the methods in interfaces were only abstract method. So that is the concept in JDK 1.7. So it will have only the idea like what to do, but it won't tell you how to do. How to do, it's your own creativity, your own idea, that you can do it in the Samsung class. So now I'm going to define my. So here I can do a override, and on top of it is saying that implements the method. So when I want to implement the method, all the method I want to implement, so what it will do? Override only. So inside that I can write my own definition. I can write my own steps here to take a photo, like what is a photo capability, what is a video capability, what I'm newly introducing, everything I'll keep it here. Similarly, if somebody else wants to introduce a smartphone in the market, okay, Apple iPhone for example, so this class is implements the smartphone, but here it is not going to be same. So if you look at this, here also I'll be using the same features like voice call, browse feature, video call and all. But am I going to follow the same implementation for a Samsung in the Apple phone? No. In iPhone, the voice feature would be different. The calling feature, even the buttons, it's not going to be same. The UX is not going to be same, right? The user interfaces, everything will be changed. So it is that Apple own creativity, their own design, and they will implement as per their own wish. But the base concept is they are introducing a smartphone. Samsung is also introducing a smartphone. The idea is smartphone, but how to do, it's purely depend upon the Samsung, their company, their brands and other things. Similarly, Apple iPhone, they have their own ideas and thought process. So this is called interface concept. So in interface, again I'm saying it will just tell you what to do. It won't tell you how to do. Okay. Any doubt in this interface concept?
No, Yuvi, no.
Okay, good. So
So UV,
now,
I have a
yeah,
small doubt.
please.
So if for abstract classes also, we can do the same thing, right? Or am I missing anything here? Because
Yes,
even in abstract
yes.
class,
So far, whatever example I've told you, it will create a understanding that it is matching with abstract class. Okay. I'm going to
right?
demonstrate the multiple inheritance concept. There you can find the difference between your abstract class and your multiple inheritance things. Okay. Sorry, abstract class and your
Okay,
interface things. I'll be
perfect. Okay,
demonstrating that
sure,
also. Yes.
sure.
So I'm creating one more interface and before that, I will cover one topic related to classes. Then it will be easy for you to understand this. So what I'm going to do is I will jump on to that topic and I will come back to this interface again so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. So I'm going to discuss a topic called anonymous class. This most of the time we won't come across, but it is good to know what is this anonymous class and what and all we can do. Say for example, I have a class called cycle, and in this class I'm having a method called display, and I have a print statement. This simple, I'm making it simple. I'm not having any complex logic. So this class is over, and I have another class called tricycle. Don't blame me that I'm taking all simple example because I want to convey it. So I don't want to go with some barcode, some machine related things and all. Simple examples. But if you're comfortable with the concept, you can understand all this complex class names and other things. I'm taking simple class names only. So tricycle. So here in the statement, I'm saying I am riding and say like this. I am a tricycle. I am a tricycle. So I have a sentence like this. In this demo class, I'm saying that PSVM and I'm going to write my code. So before that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to extend this class. I'm going to create the parent-child relationship between these two classes. So once I add this, it has started throwing me error and it's saying that already something is there, so it will be a override. So this class would be the override only, whatever. So you can see the symbol on in my left hand side, right? This is called the override symbol. You can see that this is the parent and this is the child, and I'm doing something called override concept here because I'm doing the parent-child relationship. Now coming back to this, I can create an object for the cycle and using new keyword, and if I say C dot, it is going to show me the display method. Similarly, I'm going to create another thing. Okay, so one more method, or do like this: tricycle T1 equal to new tricycle. Okay, so here I'm saying T1 dot display. So two classes are there, and two objects are there, and I'm going to run it. So here I'm calling C.display, here I'm calling T1.display. So now let me run it. It's compiling. So I'm saying I am a cycle, I am a tricycle. So it is working fine. But if you look at this, I didn't write any complex logics at all here. Just a methods display is there, and I have a log statement, and I created a tricycle class, a new class I'm creating, but inside the class I don't have any other business logic, nothing I have. I created this class just to override the display method which is there in the cycle. So if I come across any such situation, instead of creating a new class to just to override the method, you can skip the tricycle method, that's class itself. Okay, you don't need to really create a tricycle class, and you can do a modification in the main method. So what I'm going to do is, I'm looking for output like this: I am a tricycle. So I'm going to say like this. So now, instead of these two lines, I'm going to comment this. I don't want this anymore because I removed the class itself. I want to see a different log statement alone, or I want to change the logic inside the display method alone. Nothing else I want to do in the tricycle. I want a class just to override the display class in the parent. Means I can go for a anonymous class representation, which is nothing but I don't want any of these lines now. Okay, I'll comment now. When I say cycle C equal to new cycle is there, right? Just before the semicolon, I'm going to open one bracket. Inside this bracket, whatever code I've written here, right? Void display blah blah blah. This logic, okay. For our discussion, I made it just the output statement, but in the real time, you will have your business logic also. So that you can copy and you can paste it here. So it is also called a override only. You can see the override symbol is there. This is also override, but I didn't create any class here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a C, same object, nothing new. Same C dot display I'm planning to do, and I'm going to run this code. Sorry, that's a semicolon. It won't execute. Semicolon. Okay. Because before the semicolon only, I need to add the curly braces, and this is the scope of the method, and this is the scope of my anonymous class representation. So I'm running it. So I'm getting the output call I am a tricycle. So this is what I want. So what I did, I skipped the class creation itself, because this class, the purpose of this class creation is just to override a method. It is not going to do any other different business logic or complex business logic. Just to override a method, I want a class means I can easily remove the class, and I can very well do it here. But you can ask me, if that is the case, when can I see the text called I am a cycle? You can very well see it, because using the C object, when you call the display, that time alone it will show you I am a tricycle. If you normally create a C1 or C2, whatever name you want to give, you normally create an object without this anonymous class representation, without this thing, then you can very well get the output of I am a cycle. It will go to the method here only. It won't come to the method here. Okay, let me run this. Okay, so you can see, so the scope is just inside this. If you are creating any object, C2, C3, C4, anything for the cycle, it will be showing the text to call I am a cycle only. It won't be using this overwritten method because this overwritten method scope is within the C object only. So this form of class creation, we call it as anonymous class creation. Okay, so this will reduce your number of lines, code readability, and efficiency also. That's why most of the time we prefer it. Okay, now we are going back to our interface concept, because in the interface I'm going to use this logic there too. So that's why I want to correlate these two. I'm creating a new interface now. So this is a special interface. Okay, this creator. So what we are going to discuss now is about the functional interface. It is also an interface only. If you have only one abstract method in an interface, then we call it as functional interface. In the previous example, in the smartphone, okay, I have so many abstract methods. So that is not the functional interface. If I have only one abstract method, then we can call it as functional interface. There's other name also available for that, which is called single abstract method interface. Okay. In short, we will call it as SAM interface, or you can say functional interface. If it is only one abstract method is there, we call like this. Okay. So now what we can do here is we can go for a class itself. Instead of this, I can make it as a class for now. I don't want a functional interface here. Let me do this. I will create an interface later. I'll create a class itself first because I want to run a different demo. I will create an interface anyhow here. Manually, I will type that interface. So I will be having a interface called Rideable, and so usually in the naming convention, I have told in the beginning itself, something like this adjectives kind of things like runnable, serializable, rideable. So we used to give a naming convention for interfaces like this. So I'm following the same thing. So here I have only one abstract method, something called write. So one method I have, and I already told you can have in interface if you want to keep some other method, void display, and just one print statement I'm giving hello from, okay. So I'm giving like this, but there is one condition. It is saying that interface abstract method cannot have body. So if you want to keep a body, you have to make it as default. So the default keyword is added. This is what the one I was explaining you. You can have a method apart from abstract method, but that method should be a default method. And this default method anyhow you can override in the next thing. Override is possible. Okay. So this is the one I was telling you. Now I'm going to create a class called class car implements variable, and so immediately once I say it's like car must either be declared abstract or implement the method. So I want to implement the method. So only both the things it's asking. I'm very much interested on the ride only now. So ride I'm going to implement here. If you want to implement the default method, that also you can do. Okay. Next is bike. I'm creating one more class called bike. Just a minute. I'll be back in a minute. Wait, I'm back. So yeah, I was telling about this class called bike. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So here also I'm going to implement this writable interface. Immediately it is saying that you want to implement a method, so we are implementing this write method, and here I'm saying you are writing a. So now we are going back to this demo class, and we're saying that public class functional interface. So we have done like this. I have this writable interface, right? So writable R2 equal to, and writable, yes. I type like this, it won't allow because you cannot instantiate the interface. So it won't allow you to create the object for this, but I can do the other way around. That is, if I want to create an object, I can use that yesterday I was showing you, right? Using either bike or car, I can create an object, I can do it. Or if I want to create some logic specifically for a ride or something, means what I can do, I can create the logic using the anonymous object option. So what is that anonymous option is, I can do like this. So here it is automatically coming. So writable void write, and I'm saying that you are writing. Okay, I can do like this. So now if I say this one, I have to do it simple. R2 dot write, it will give me this. If I say free equal to free suitable R2 equal to right. So I'm giving different combinations. What are the different combination I can use this interface, and how can I get the output like this? So I can use the anonymous concept. I can have like this, or I can create the object for the car, or I can create the object for the bike using this writable, and I can do it. Now let's run this. So you can see different options I'm getting. You are riding a car, you are riding a bike. So these things you can do very well in this interface. So this is the functional interface. So only one abstract method I can keep. I cannot keep more than one. And the main idea behind this is, when I say like this, if I have more than one method, which method I can override here? I cannot do it, right? I can override only one method. That's why we are coming into this concept. I don't need to, if you look at the code when I typed it, I didn't specify anything like a override the write method. It in turn automatically taken the write method, and it was doing this override method. Everything it has given. Only the logic I've added inside, whether to print a log statement or whether to do a for loop, while loop, any other operation, it's up to me. I can do it. But it automatically gave me a recommendation when I try to create an object for this, because only one thing is available, only one abstract method is available, and I was able to do it. And I can have a default method also. This default method also I can very well override. Okay, so now to answer your question, Ranjit, I can have one more interface here. Okay, this is a function interface, right? Interface. Yesterday, I hope you remember the challenges which I have told you for the class level. If I put two classes, it will be a problem. The problem name is
Uh,
diamond problem. That
UV, UV, UV screen not visible.
is, okay, let me unshare and share again. Is it visible now? No?
No.
No, no.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, now.
visible.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. So the main problem in this multiple inheritance for a class in Java is diamond problem. That is, it will go in a loop. Like if you call one, it will go to the other, it will go in a loop. So what they did is totally they removed the concept of like you cannot do this multiple inheritance. It is not possible there. It is create some problem. So what they have done is in interface you can very well do it because you can have only the implementations, that is only what you want to do you are defining, like how to do you are not at all defining there, right? So if I want to implement one more thing like this, so two things it is giving me an option, so it will consider that differently. So what it is going to give, it is going to give me an option called this. Okay, instead of write, I have created that as write only. It will take it in the other way. I will explain that concept. What is this run? If you have only one thing, okay, you can go for this option. It is saying that run, and inside that I can say you are running the card. So some, it is not a meaningful message, but still to differentiate between these and this I'm giving. So what I am doing here, not this number, I'll do like this. Name I will change. It is conflicting with the existing interface, the default interface. So some other name I give interface number. Okay, so that it won't create any problem. It was taking the runnable, the default interface. That's why it is taking the method as run. This we don't have. If you go to the library, there is a runnable interface is available. That is the one it was taking. We are not interested in that. We will create our own thing. Now, if I want to do, I can implement here and I can call. So using the object, so I can very well, anyhow when I running it, I will be having the objects created for this and I'll be calling that. So now I have the overwritten. When I go to this particular thing, this writable R3 is there, right? Similarly, I can call interface name and some number I can give R6 equal to new R and R6 dot interface. Now if I run this, it will go to the corresponding method. Whatever the log statement inside that, it is going to say that you are riding a car 2 times it is coming, right? Because I have made it for one for the uh, ride interface, the rideable interface, and another for the uh, new interface which I have created. So with this, I can do the multiple inheritance concept. Multiple inheritance means more than one I can do a implements here. So extends for the class and implements is for the interface. So that is the reason we are going for this interface when compared to that classes. In classes, multiple inheritance is not possible due to the diamond problem that we have discussed yesterday. The next thing what we are going to discuss here is lambda expression. So you can simplify like whatever the one I have shown here is this override thing I have shown, right? This complete code. This one you can simplify the representation using the lambda expression. So it is applicable only for the functional interface. So this was already explained you. That is, functional interface means you will be having only one abstract method. So in that concept only you can use this. Whatever code I have here, right, I am going to modify it, and that modification is the lambda expression. Lambda expression is nothing but like simplify the representation. Your output would be same, but how we are going to do it, that is the main thing. So if you look at the screen, I'm going to remove this part continuously because for writable only I'm creating. So this new writable I'm removing, and I'm going to have this override also I can remove because I am going to only one method I have, right? That method only I'm going to override, so no need to specify the method name here. So I'm removing that also. And next thing is to represent the lambda expression, I have to use an arrow like this, and I can have my code. And as I don't have much of the business logic, only the print statement I have, I am removing this bracket also. So my code will be like this. Previously there are like 4-5 lines of code, but now I changed the complete representation in a single line itself. Okay, for now let me comment all those things because we are working on the lambda expression. So I have R2. For R2 I'm creating the ride, and that ride I'm going to run it now. So I got my answer. How I did it? I reduced the number of lines and using the lambda expression. Lambda expression is nothing but this is the one. Okay, in other technology and other programming language they call this as arrow function also because it is using arrow, right? So Java we call it as lambda expression. Why we are going for this lambda expression? It is for the simplicity of the code. When I can apply it only in the case of functional interface. Why I can use it in the functional interface? Because functional interface means only one abstract method I can have, so that I don't need to specify the name of the method which I want to override. Because by default, I have only one method. So I'll be going there and I'll be overriding that one. That's why lambda expression is applicable on the functional interface. Okay. The next topic which we are going to discuss today, I would say it's an interesting topic also, because exception handling is one of the important thing for any developer. So we should be comfortable with the exception handling, error handling and all, so that you can easily understand that. Okay. So I'll create one class for that now. Let's start with a simple example itself. So for example, I have one main method, and something like this I have. Make it as 0 itself. I'm purposely introducing some error in my code. I have another variable called C, and I'm trying to do a mathematical calculation like this. That is, I'm going to divide n divided by 0. I'm planning to do, and I'm going to print this the value of C also. Simple code only. Again, I'm saying I have two variables. One is A and B. A the value is 10 and B value is 0. And I have another variable integer data type, and the value I'm initializing with 0. C, I'm doing some mathematical operation, the division operation, and I'm printing it. Now, when I run this code, I'll get an error, arithmetic expression, because I'm trying to divide a number by 0. That is not a acceptable arithmetic operation. So infinite, some other logics are there in max. We are not going to deep dive into that. But in arithmetic operation, divide by 0, it is not the acceptable format. So it is not the correct arithmetic operation. So it will fail in the middle and it does not complete the operation. So this is not the last line of my code. I have something called end of the program. So this is my complete program, and if I want to run this, it is saying exception, and it is not printing the last line of the code. That is my expectation. It has to print a C, or it should end with the end of the program. It abruptly stopped my execution in the middle. To avoid this, we can add the statement inside the try, and if some issue occurs or error occurs, it will be catched in the catch block. So how can I avoid this problem? I know that there will be a mathematical exception will happen, and I don't know what will be the value I'll get from the user. User can give any input. How can I avoid it is using the try and catch block. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say that try this particular mathematical operation. If it works fine, well and good. If it doesn't work fine, okay, I can keep this outside also. If it doesn't work fine, catch the error and print it for me. So I'm going to say that error occurred, and or two strings. Okay, I'll do the two string later. This is sufficient now. I'll take you step by step. Some error message. Okay, for now it is the user defined error message. It is not the system provided error message. User defined error message. So now I'm running my code. So it is saying error occurred. So I get a notification that there are some problem. That's why this particular line is not printed in my screen, but it is saying end of the program. So what I have achieved here, I'm able to see that program completion. There may be only one part which is causing the problem. That one part should not stop the complete execution of the program. That one part, if it is executing fine, it's good. We can see the output. If it is not executing fine, the next step needs to be executed. In that case, I have to handle the exception properly. So I'm using this try and catch block. This is a very basic step for try catch. There are different things we will do in the try and catch. So for now, I added something called just exception, right? There are some other options is also available. So what we can do here is I can use something called arithmetic exception. If I very clear that there is some arithmetic exception is going to happen, then I can print the arithmetic exception here, and E is the, see, everything is inbuilt. I will go to the class itself. There is a class called arithmetic exception, and this class is extending the runtime exception. And when I open this runtime exception, this is the class called runtime exception, and this is derived from the something called exception. So exception is the parent. From that, there is a child called runtime. From that, there is a child called arithmetic. So the parent, the super classes for this particular thing is exception. So that's why if I'm not particular about my exception, what type of exception I'm going to get, I can better put the parent, exception class name itself here. If I know that, I can put arithmetic expression and E, and I can say that E dot get message. So if I do like this, it will say the error message occurred, and it will say the reason for the error also, that is you are dividing by 0. So this will help you much in your production issues analysis. So production issue, something like your system or your server got stuck in the middle and you don't have any clue. Okay, usually the easy step or the very correct step to identify the production is, don't go for the recreation the test environment. Very first thing is you have to go and analyze the log. Once you see the log, you will get an idea what exactly happened. Then you can recreate the issue in the test environment. And some of the issue you can identify by seeing the log itself. No need to create in the test environment, because your log will clearly say some input is not correct, something has happened in the middle. It can be arithmetic operation, null pointer exception, or any other runtime exception. Everything it will clearly tell. And in production, usual practices, they won't keep all the logs in the same file. Information logs would be in one file, error logs would be in the other file, trace log, debug log. So many logs they will keep it, and everything they will keep it in separate file. Usually they won't write this exception logs in this particular file. What they will do is they will have a something called this, okay, error dot println. So what it will do is, currently it is showing this error message in the normal color coding, but when I say system dot error dot println, it will print that particular log alone in a red shade, meaning that it is an error. So it will be easy for you when you traverse your log. There will be thousands of lines in the log, and different threads will be running, and it will be easy if all those things in the common file. So error alone you can track, and you can easily get that input. So with this, I'm stopping today's session. Next session also, I'll be continuing on the exceptions only, because we need to see different type of exception. I personally feel that exception handling and error handling is the basic quality to be a Java programmer or developer, because you need to know what is a problem. It is not like you develop something and some issue occurs, somebody else will support you. You have to know what is your problem in the code. Your problem in the sense, what is the problem in the code? You should be able to rectify that also. So these are the small things you can follow, and that will sort out the regular issues. Any doubt?
Yeah,